Israel's stunning success in attacking Iran's nuclear weapons program, its missile and air defences as well, and its government and military leadership has triggered tectonic shifts that are unfolding as we go to air tonight. Missile alerts are being issued in Israel. There are explosions across Iran, and Tehran is in panic. Donald Trump has left the G7 summit early in Canada to return to the White House and deal with the Middle East crisis. He took to social media warning Iranians to evacuate Tehran. And in the dead of night, Iranians began doing just that, jamming highways out of the Iranian capital. It's a city of 10 million people surrounded by mountains, and it's been suffering targeted Israeli attacks for 4 nights, including overnight tonight. People were fleeing Tehran before President Trump's warning, but in recent hours, reports have referred to gridlock out of the city. An Iranian television presenter was interrupted when the studio was hit, apparently, by an Israeli strike. She did pop up later in another studio. It's now 10:30 in the morning in Tehran, but overnight at the United Nations in New York, the Israeli ambassador addressed his message directly to Iranians.
People of Iran, our fight is not against you. Rather, it is against the regime that oppresses you. We fight the same regime that murders your daughters for demanding freedom. The same regime that suppresses your voices, poisons your rivers, burns your votes, and sends your sons to die for its delusions. We know the truth. You are not our enemies. You are the first and most tragic victims of the Ayatollahs.
Before President Trump left Canada, he pleaded with Iran to accept a deal. The deal offered before but rejected, a deal to end its push for nuclear weapons in exchange for peace.
So I'm in constant touch. And as I've been saying, I think a deal will be signed, or something will happen, but a deal will be signed. And I think Iran is foolish not to sign one.
But with more US military assets moving to the Middle East, the Defence Secretary spoke about American preparedness.
We're vigilant, we're prepared, and we've messaged consistently from the beginning that we're in the region to defend our people and our assets. And Israel took an action out of self-defense. We believe that Iran, as President has said from the beginning, should not have a nuclear weapon. That position hasn't changed. They can give it up peacefully. That position hasn't changed. And as a result, right now, we've got assets in the region and we're going to defend them.
Importantly, it's long been understood that Israel doesn't have the bunker-busting bombs that can penetrate far enough underground to take out all of Iran's nuclear facilities, which have deliberately been built deep below the surface. But US smart bombs delivered by B-2 stealth bombers can do this job. And the question now is whether the US has decided to finish that task and whether they are deliberately escalating pressure on Iran to give up and do a deal. Either way, this is an opportunity too far gone to be wasted by the US or Israel, not to mention the rest of the Western world. The Iranian pursuit of nuclear weapons has been the strategic threat that has most troubled Israel and has worried the US and European allies deeply for 2 decades. After the failure of Barack Obama's deal and a European deal and endless thumbing of the nose from Iran, as Israel and the US have issued increasingly strident warnings, Israel took the crucial step of launching its attack last week.
Israel is doing very well, as you probably noticed, and I gave Iran 60 days, and they said no, and the 61st you saw what happened. Day 61.
Yeah, so the question now is whether the US is going to finish this job, and if so, when and how. Australia's role in this under Anthony Albanese has been truly pathetic. We've seen nothing but false equivalence. For years, Australia's official position has been to oppose Iran gaining nuclear weapons and to help pressure it through sanctions, even though we maintain an embassy in Tehran. But this week, Albanese and his Foreign Minister Penny Wong, who seem to have an ideological disregard for Israel, well, they tried not to take sides. They failed to support Israel's action against Iran, and they failed to strongly demand that Iran abandon its nuclear ambitions. Instead, we've had weasel words.
Well, we are deeply concerned, and we have urged all parties to prioritise dialogue and diplomacy.
Yeah, a little chat'll do it, Albo. Albanese and Wong have made Australia irrelevant, failing to stand up against the malign influence of Iran, which exports terrorism, is run by religious zealots committed to obliterating Israel, and is working towards nuclear weapons. There is much to play out here, but if Iran is forced to abandon its nuclear program, and it's prevented from attacking Israel and sponsoring terrorism through its proxies, the world will be a much safer place. It'll also send a stern warning to Russia, China and North Korea. And if this happens, and let's hope it does, the world will be indebted to Benjamin Netanyahu and Donald Trump, to Israel and the US. And Australia hasn't even offered moral support.